welcome to another update from the Fantasy Gaming Studio. In today's video, we are taking a look at 5 newly made themed tables of terrain made for our Warhammer Fantasy armies to play on. With these finished terrain pieces, our inventory is almost ready for use, and the time for our first battle report in the studio draws ever closer. As stated in my last terrain video, the importance of a good looking table full of cool terrain is just as important as having a nicely painted army, as it helps visualizing our fantasy battles on the battleboard and completes the overall look and feeling of the Warhammer setting. All the terrain pieces in this video was crafted and painted within 5 months or so, and as such I have been really busy finishing the themed inventory of the studio. I'm not sure how many hours I actually did put into it, but I'm guessing it's quite a lot by now. Some pieces were quite easy to make, while others took many tries and failures before I was successful and satisfied with the look. I also did a lot of online research to make each piece look as authentic as possible to its theme and the setting, and I feel like the end result is very close to what I wanted to accomplish. So now, without further delay, I'm proud to present our 5 new themed tables of terrain. In the distant past, we ruled a great empire, the everlasting realm of Karak-Angkors, spanning the whole range of the mighty World's Edge Mountains. However, time have not been kind to us. Our empire fell to earthquakes and invasions of orcs, goblins, filthy Skaven, and other malign races. And today what remains of our once interconnected fortress cities have become isolated and scattered. What once was is now but a faint memory, and what is left of our ruined Karaks and underground temples we defend with our utmost determination and willpower. One day, we will restore our dwarven nation again to its proper glory and magnificence, so our ancestors might laugh and smile again in their heavenly halls. In the meantime, come visit us. The gates of this Karak are open.
Under the ground we titter and pain, watching, waiting. We gnaw at the roots of the world like an infected wound. We mean to rule our ruins, for such are the will of our God, the great horned rat. A numberless horde of vermin ready for dominion under the rule of the Council of 13. Yes. In every corner of society, our agents have been planted, ready for infiltration and assassination when the time comes. Underground, we mine for the precious warpstone to fuel our mechanic creations and phone magic, while our vast subterranean cities keep growing in size. As soon as the Council of 13 agrees on the attack, the whole world will be ours, yes. So come and take a look, slave. Take a look at your impending doom before your world is gone.
Seek the monsters that you fear the most. We chase the nightmares that haunt your cowardly dreams. The deadlier the prey, the more we exult in the hunt, the more we honor our gods. This harsh land breeds the savage, and we revel in it. The old world calls, ripe for our taking. We fought monsters, and we became them. Embrace our dark gods, and we will allow for a quick glimpse of our icy chaos wastes.
You think yourself worthy to walk the sands of the Hekara, to tread the holy ground of our nation that have been for thousands of years. You see our great temples and pyramids of old and wonder what treasures and secrets might lie within, what riches you can rob and fill your filthy pockets with. Nations have risen and fallen many times, while we persist, for we are the masters of life and death. By the power of the mortuary cult, we have attained immortality, and we are forever blessed with this gift. You say you are only here to have a look. Well, come, take a look, but know this, our Doom King do not serve, he rules!
That's it for now. I hope you have enjoyed and gotten some inspiration to create some terrain of your own. My next project is going to be painting up the studio Tomb King's army so that we have 5 armies to choose from when we start doing our battle report videos. It might take a little while, but it's gonna be so worth it, and it's something I really look forward to. As always, if you want to see still pictures of the terrain pieces, keep watching or go to our Instagram page. Until next time, take care, be safe, and know that you are appreciated. Goodbye.